And we are live. And into the first 7 seconds. Hello. Yep. Silent so you can't hear the desktop. Well, hello. Sorry, I'm just having a quick drink. Thank you for joining me. This is another weekly live stream. No one in the viewing list yet, but for those of you watching back, we'll go through the usual house rules. Keep it friendly, keep it clean, keep it civil, keep it honest, keep it caring, keep it kind, blah blah blah. And we're all good. So, this is the pre-premiere live stream. I will just put out a quick tweet. In fact, I will share the link to this live stream so that people can join me. There we go. I always like to actually put out a live stream tweet. Is the link. Please do come and join me. This is the pre-premiere live stream for chapter 14 of the Lord of War and Heartache, which premieres a little, well, later on in under 2 hours. And there's the link. So yeah, this is the pre-premiere live stream. Chapter 14 now uploaded and ready to go. I'm just going to adjust my camera because I am using, and you can't really, there we go. I'm not exactly central, am I? Excuse me. I really need to sort this out before I actually, you know, I really should sort this out before I actually go live, because let's face it, you know, these things happen though. You work with what you've got. As I say, I'm having to use my laptop camera still. I am looking into getting a new camera that will actually improve the quality of the videos. Obviously I've got my Blue Yeti microphone, which is plugged in and functioning, and of course I'm thirsty tonight. Once I get a proper video camera, hopefully HD, I will be able to stream with much better quality visual. I have been using Prism Live on my phone in the past, but things didn't work out with that. I downloaded a stream app which didn't work out. Not a stream app, I beg your pardon, a webcam app which didn't work out. Hi Goody, thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me, very much appreciated. So yeah, you know, I've undergone all the pitfalls of live streaming, but I am looking into getting better equipment. So obviously I'm not upgrading the Blue Yeti at all at any time soon. I'm very happy with it, I have to say. But the picture quality of these live streams isn't top notch really, so I would very much like to find something that will allow you the best quality of a live stream possible. You know, you deserve the best. I mean, you've already got the best audio to listen to my voice. You just need the best picture. I mean, I know it's grainy, and as I say, the lighting in this room is absolutely abysmal because, you know, the window's there and it's dark this side. So I'm just going to find my lamp. There we go. Hopefully that isn't too bad. It doesn't look too bad, doesn't it? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm looking at the screen, I'm not looking at the camera at the moment. So yeah, I think, in fact, it doesn't really do much, but I've got some sort of hidden lights under there that throw a bit more light down that way, so you know, it kind of helps. I don't want to pull the curtains just yet because obviously it's 8:10 in the evening here in the UK, and in all honesty, I don't want to shut the light out, so I think we'll carry on as we are until it does get dark and I'm forced to put the lights on. That will probably be about 9:30, about half hour before the premiere takes place. So yes, chapter 14, we're here. We finally got to chapter 14 in the Lord of War Heartache. That means that there's about, well, in the playlist there's 30 videos now. You know, that's 14 main chapters and 16 side story chapters, and there is a 17th side story chapter on the way. Well, there's a couple, in fact, because I haven't announced these yet, but there's going to be another Trigon Saga video, there's going to be another Vampire Saga video, and I'm working on some new material for another saga, which I'm holding very close to my chest. I don't want to reveal that just yet. I want it to sort of be revealed when it's uploaded, and no one on Twitter knows about this. This is the first time I've ever mentioned this thought. It's a solo project, so it's just me performing, but I want to make sure it works first. So I'm going to do some test runs, but if it doesn't work, then by not actually revealing anything, you know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't get uploaded, because I've not actually said what it is, I've not created expectations. That's it. It's it'll stay locked away forever. So I think that's the best way of looking at it. Apart from that, I do have another Cleo and Trajan chapter to edit, and then it's on the way to chapter 15, so I'm waiting to receive a few contributions for chapter 15. I'm still looking for participants in chapter 16. There's 3 of us involved in chapter 16. Myself, Sleeping Artist ASMR, and Whisperwind ASMR. Chapter 16 is going to be the first one I've ever done for video. I do still need to write my scripts for chapter 15. Because obviously with my way of doing my characters, because obviously I don't need notes, because I already have a clear idea in my head how they're going to sound, and you know, in my mind's eye I know what they look like. I tend to write all my scripts at the last minute, and then record them straight away, because I already have a good idea of, you know, how the characters are going to be. it's much more complicated when it's doing it for someone else, because obviously you need the notes, you need the guidelines, you need the script. So all in all, that's why I tend to write all my own scripts last minute and record them last minute, because it also allows me to figure out how the whole project is going to go together. And I will do the same for the Academy when the time comes, because I've got 3 characters. I'm reprising the role of Arik the Bard from Chapter 9. I'm introducing 2 new characters, Rajak Malston, who is the Master of Ceremonies, and Harold, the leader of the Jesters. Harold was portrayed by another ASM artist. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond their control, and completely with my blessings, they've had to withdraw, and that's as far as I'm going to take that. Nothing, things have happened that, they need time, so they've withdrawn, and I'm taking on the role of Harold. Fortunately, I always have a backup plan for when characters do withdraw, because granted, I could have put a tender out for someone to play Harold. However, I have some artwork that I edited from Pixabay, so to an extent I had in my mind created the voice that I had for Harold. So what I was thinking, that's why I've taken on the role, because it's quicker, it's easier for me if it's obviously if it's a male character, because if push comes to shove, and it's quicker for me to find someone else to take on that role if it's me taking that role. I know that sounds, because there are plenty of male ASM artists out there who are probably really looking to collaborate with the channel, but at the end of the day, and this is me speaking frankly and honestly here, because I've already got my own idea and impression of what the character sounds and looks like, it's easier for me to take on the mantle of that character than it is to try and take a long time to find a replacement, and then it has to be rushed through. A video or audio has to be rushed through. I mean, the script's already written, so that's that's by the by. So that's how I'm going to do it, and it makes sense really, because as I say, I've already got the concept in my head. So yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10 I will try and find someone else to participate. However, hello Catherine, thank you for joining me. It does make it easier for me to take on the mantle of the character. There are quite a few characters in the series that I've voiced. They haven't appeared yet. In fact, there's one in Chapter 15 I'm actually going to drop. There is one character in Chapter 15 I'm actually going to drop because I really don't know how they're going to fit in, and that was one voiced by me anyway, so it won't make any difference, called The Mysterious Stranger. And to be absolutely honest, I can't think of a way of fitting them in. The other character I'm doing I can fit in. But the mysterious stranger, I think I'm just going to cut. I haven't even written a script for them yet, so it makes no difference whatsoever. Absolutely makes no difference. You know, because I'm in that particular. Hi Sage, thank you for joining me. It's okay, my computer's. Oh no, that's the wrong screen. That's my crib sheet for Sims 4. All my my way of getting extra simoleons for the game. B cheats enabled. Testing cheats enabled. True. Yes, I do use cheat codes sometimes on The Sims. I'm trying to think which character I'm playing in chapter 15. Arcturus the Playwright. That's the one I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing Arcturus the Playwright in chapter 15. So I've got to basically write that script. But as I say, with all my scripts for myself, I write them last minute and record them last minute. But I don't know if you follow her or if you're aware of her. T for 2 ASMR actually uploaded what I refer. You might have seen this on my Twitter feed. T for 2 ASMR uploaded what I refer to as the lost video. If you recall, you know, you might be brand new to my channel and you might be brand new to Lord of War Heartache, etc. But I know many of you, if you're watching this back on the replay, are familiar. If you've seen chapter 7, which I know a number of people in the chat have. I mean, Sage Whisperwind ASMR, of course, was in chapter 7 as Callisto the Acrobat. Well, it featured the character of Arundella, played by Jodie Marie ASMR. Now, originally, and Arundella is a vampire. Originally, in that video, in that collaboration, it was T for 2 ASMR playing the character of Shy. But instead of being a vampire, she's a human who hates vampires but travels with the troupe because it's a good way of her building up her fame. Ooh, whatever you feel, Sage. You know, it's your piece. You know, if you want to go to town, please do go to town. You know, I like to let the creativity flow in with participants. I make it a rule never to dictate what. You know, I can suggest. I mean, it's set in the dream realm, so it can be anything really. You know, it could be. I mean, I've got a set background for my character in chapter 16. The dream programmer. I actually do have a set background. But I would say exactly the same to Julie as well. Whatever background you want to use, because it's not set in a, what's the word I would use? It's not set in a conventional world. It's the dream realm. Anything goes. It's all about lucid dreaming. It's all about, you know, dream manipulation. What is familiar, what isn't familiar. Hey Julie, speak of thy name and she shall appear, and they shall appear. I have got some imagery that I can send you. I can send it over to you via Twitter, and I'll do the same for you, Julie, as well. I will do that later, though. I do, if that's the case, I do have some imagery that you can use. I will send it over to you later via my Google Drive. So leave that with me. In fact, I shall write that down. Look at me being professional. Send Sage. No. Let's get this down. It's not a pen. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can hear this. Send Sage and Julie the backdrops. I don't know if that worked. I don't know if that actually worked, because I don't know if that actually worked as writing, but yeah, that's fine. I can send you the backdrops. That's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, obviously, keep it steampunk. The images that I have aren't necessarily steampunk, but it's supposed to go from room to room. So each backdrop will be different. It doesn't all take place in the same room. The viewer is supposed to be moving through the factory. I mean, I'm still looking. If you know of anyone into steampunk, you know, ASMR, steampunk, things like that, you know, I've still got the Dream Engineer, the Dream Packer, and the Dream Weaver. You know, and I tell you, who'd be amazing if I mean, it would be a real treat if I could get her on board, because I know she's done steampunk. But if I could get, I mean, if ASMR Glow got on board for that one, that would be amazing, because I know she's done steampunk and things like that. That would be a real treat, you know. I mean, I'm thinking big here. I know. I mean, I'm sure she gets a lot of messages and things, and you know, she I mean, she's a big. But you know, I think. But yeah, you know, if you know of any ASMR artists, and if you're watching this back, ladies and gentlemen, well, everybody, if you're watching this back, regardless of who you are, I'm trying to be tactful. Don't want to drop a clanger. If you're an ASMR artist who's into steampunk and you're watching this back on the replay, drop me a message, because I'm looking for 3 more participants in Chapter 16, The Nightmare Machine. And yeah, you know, please. Well, the funny thing is, the outfit I'm wearing for my video is actually the same outfit I wear for Maximus in Chapter 7. You know, yeah, I will admit I did share some Dreamtopia images with ASMR Goody the other day. Dreamtopia is the city of the Dream Realm, yeah, we were talking about it because Dreamtopia's Chapter 18 and ASMR Goody ASMR, I do beg your pardon, is involved in Chapter 18. So I was sharing some photos to give an idea of what Dreamtopia looks like, and it is Yeah, I will do that actually, because I will do that actually now. Bear with me. ASMR casting call. Sorry, I know this isn't the most exciting thing, but yeah, I'm taking your advice, Goody, because I think it's a good idea. Dream Engineer. Second is the Dream Packer. And third is the Dream Weaver. DM me if interested. Please DM me if interested. Video is preferred for this. There we go. Tweet sent. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to go and grab my dinner. Sorry, it's just fish fingers. And a roll. Just going to pop them in and eat them as I go. Do excuse me. What is that? Oh. This could get messy. Do excuse me whilst I'm eating. Sorry about that. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, I've just put out the tweet, so hopefully we'll get some results from that. Oh, thank you for retweeting. Goody, much appreciated. Hopefully we'll get some results. It shouldn't be too hard and fast, really. I mean, it's basically what it is. And it will be a lot of fun. Genuinely will be a lot of fun. So, but yeah, you know, chapter 14 tonight, chapter 15 on the way. There will be some delays. So, as I say, there will be some delays, but I'm kind of think. Oh, birdie, 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 birdie. It's okay. Redbird Russell's has. Oh dear. Oh, Redbird Russell's is messaging me. basically the dream engineer keeps the nightmare. There we go. Yeah, looks like Birdie has taken an interest in the project, so that should be good. But yeah, the chapter in itself, I will explain this actually. Do excuse me. Mukbang. Oh, yeah, I could be doing a mukbang. Chapter 16 is entitled The Nightmare Machine. Now, the concept behind it is it's not a machine that creates nightmares. It's a machine that actually absorbs nightmares and converts them into good dreams. So it doesn't actually, the name is a misnomer created by people in the dream realm who are afraid of the machine, but in reality it actually collects nightmares, and then all the darkness from those nightmares are fed into an enslaved entity. There is at the heart of the machine there is a being who has basically fallen asleep in the real world and not woken up, because they're enslaved to the nightmare machine. But the thing is, in the real world, they're actually an incredibly cruel and heartless person. So so they're only they're enslaved to the machine because of their nastiness in the real world. And this is the full concept of the whole thing. Eventually they get absorbed, so someone else of evil heart gets taken on. So the nightmare machine is actually quite good, but the person who's enslaved to it isn't, and of course they're tormented by the dark energies from the nightmares that it absorbs. It's basically a machine that purifies dreams, and it has people from all different worlds, and it has people from all different. It's all steampunk, but it doesn't really matter where people come from, or it exists in multiple. The dream realm exists in multiple dimensions anyway. We've got characters from other dimensions appearing in it as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much the concept. We haven't actually mentioned the nightmare machine in the real world in the actual series, but the entire concept of it is, if you if you're a bad heart, you will become a slave to it. You know, it's, excuse me, I do apologise, but it is yeah, basically the whole premise of the Dream Realm is it's multi-dimensional. It's one step towards the spirit realm. You'll understand all this as the segment goes, because it runs from chapters 15 to 19. So the whole background is covered throughout the chapter. So it's all worked out. I've got it all worked out. That's the thing. And I really do think it's going to be a great concept. I mean, we've got great people on board. I mean, in chapter 15, we've got the involvement of who was it? Sleep Stories ASMR. If you're familiar with Sleep Stories ASMR, she's absolutely amazing. She appeared in Swarm's ASMR's marketplace video, you know, where Jess K Creative kept looking for Cheesemonger. So I'm really thrilled to have her on board, because she is a superb ASMR content creator. She's one of my go-to channels when I'm definitely feeling down, because she has such a calming, you know. I mean, I've got so many channels that I go to. If anyone were to ask me to make a top 10 list of ASM artists, I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. In all honesty, it's something that would be impossible for me to do, because, you know, I love this community. I will always love this community, and it's really been, I mean, this last year, it's really been sort of very shall we try this? Sorry if I've triggered anyone who actually hates that sound, but sometimes you've just got to try these triggers. You know, you see them so often. I personally don't see the appeal in them myself, but you've got to try. You've got to try these things. Otherwise, you don't. If you don't try, you never know. And I genuinely do think you've got to sort of experiment with your content sometimes, and sometimes doing it via a live stream is the best way of experimenting. So yeah, got some really good things coming up in the Well, if you go, when you visit my channel, go to my playlists, because I actually do have a playlist called ASMR by other ASM artists, and it basically features all the ASM artists that I truly admire. And I mean, you know, we've got some fantastic people in there. There we go. ASMR by other ASMR artists. I mean, you know, we've got obviously Sage, Julie. You know, we've got who else? Lady ASMR. Oh, I don't know if you've seen her latest video. I shared it in my Twitter feed. How she doesn't burst out laugh. How she manages to keep a straight face whilst doing her videos. If you're not familiar with her as Lady ASMR, she used to be ASMR Attack. But oh my god, how she doesn't break into laughter whilst filming her videos. The latest one is she's a paediatrician who hates kids, and she's giving a checkup to a kid, and I had to bite the back of my hand because I was trying not to laugh. It really is one of the funniest ASMR videos I have ever seen. You know, and obviously, you know, I've got people like Eerie ASMR, Visual Sounds 1 ASMR, Shortbread, Oopsie Daisy, Daisy Benazy, Evoke, Glow, Angelica, KO, who else? Exploring, Southern Belle, Katie, obviously, Vader, Egilia. You know, I've got. Oh, you will love it, Julie. Oh my god, it is. She is so. I love her sarcastic, blunt characters. I mean, she. Just thinking about it makes me laugh. It is just. Oh, you know, when you get opportunities, see it, because it is. Yeah, well, I mean, there's 1,981 videos in the playlist itself. You know, and it's a mix of new ASM artists and, you know, well-established content creators as well. You know, and people I've become very good friends with. So, in the last year or so, and I definitely recommend giving it a look, because it goes right back to sort of the early days of my channel. There's some, excuse me, there's some I had to remove due to circumstances, but, you know, less said about that the better. And if you know, you know. So we won't go down that route. But as I say, I do highly recommend having a look at an Angelica. Now, she is another one who, if you like Lady ASMR's videos, you will love Angelica's videos. She's an ASM artist, and she is one of the funniest, most original and creative ASM artists out there, amongst all the ones that I've, you know. Yeah, that's the problem, because every single ASM artist I'm subscribed to, every single ASM artist I'm friends with, has superb creativity. You know, you can't put them into. You can't create a top 10. It's impossible to create a top 10 of ASM artists. and it's not fair to do that. You can't do it. You know, it would be like it's impossible. It's unthinkable. It's no, you can't do it. In all honesty, and I don't want to do that. You know, you can have channels that you go back to a lot, which of course would be, you know, channels like Whisperwind, for example. But if someone actually said to me, "Who are your top 10?" I couldn't really choose, because I love them all. I love all the content creators I watch and interact with, because they all bring something different to the table. They all bring. I'm doing hand gestures over here, and you can't see them. You know, they all bring something to the table. They all have creative originality and imagination, and it's impossible to pin down a single content creator like that. It is. It can't be done. It really, truthfully, can't be done. And yes, there are. If you actually type into YouTube ASMR reaction videos, I can't say who's done them, but they are out there. And some of the reactions I've seen are negative, but you know, that's their opinion. That's just the way they feel. If they want to make fun of it, that's their problem, not mine. I'm a content creator. Blah blah blah. You know, at the end of the day, I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I want to create content. I want to create, you know, and some people might think, and you know, I'm half expecting at some point to get a comment going, you know, how can you be a content creator when you get other people to make your own make the content for you? And now that obviously has never happened yet. That hasn't happened yet at all. I haven't had a comment, but this thought has crossed my mind many times, that I will be criticised because my channel is predominantly made up of collaboration material. My response to that is, if this, and I'm preempting this comment, I'm using this live stream to put it out of its misery right now. When I started my channel, I always had the intention of sharing it with people. You know, I always had an idea that I wanted to do something really special and have other people involved. That was always my goal with this channel. The truth of the matter is, and I've said this before, the project has become too big for me to do on my own. And the fact of the matter is, I invite people to participate because, first of all, it gives their channels and their creativity exposure through my. Granted, it is my creativity because obviously I write the scripts, I create the characters, but they use their creativity to develop them, and that's the thing. Once I've written the script, I don't get involved unless they specifically ask me to. I don't get involved with this damn chair. I don't get involved with anything about their character until, you know, until they send over the video or the audio, and then I do the. So I basically write, you know, I write the project, I edit the project, I produce the project, I direct the project. In fact, I barely direct it because the thing is, I've never actually had to give any direct direction. And that's the honest truth, you know, because everyone has pinpointed my vision. I'm just going to go and turn a light. I'm just going to go and turn this light on because it's getting a bit dull in here. So, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, yes, everybody. I am wearing tartan loungewear. Well, it might be plaid, it might not be tartan, but you know, comfortable lounge pants. Can't beat them, really. Where was I? Oh yes. How I run my channel, really. Yes, granted, it is collaboration work, but that's the point. I always wanted my channel to be shared. You know, it has my name on Darian ASMR, you know, and my Twitter feed has my channel name, my Instagram feed has my channel name. The irony with my Instagram feed is you will not find that much to do with my channel on there. It's just something I've decided to make it easier so that people can find me on Instagram. But the whole essence of my channel is that I always wanted people to be involved, whether they're a viewer, you know, whether they're just a viewer, a subscriber, someone who comes into my chat during a live stream or premiere, anything like that, because I've always wanted this channel to be interactive to a degree, and I think that's what makes this whole thing to me so special, is because of the people that I interact with. You know, it is important to me that I am able to interact with people on my channel, and that is why I always put out, you know, calls for participants, or you know, I'm always talking about my figures, you know. Cut that one. We could be here all night otherwise. But you understand what I mean. So what it really does mean a lot to me to have the interaction that I do with people. It really does make a huge difference, and it's what's kept me going through lockdown after lockdown. You know, through this whole pandemic, this channel has kept me going. I haven't really done much model making, I haven't really done much prop making, but I will show you something. This cost me £5, and I'm gonna hold it there. Not the best image, but you know, it is a gun. It's not a Nerf gun, but it's basically the same thing. It came with foam bullets, for want of a better name. Also came with a couple of I can't find them. Oh yeah, came with a couple of bugs. So in the next week or so, I hope to steampunk this up. I'm going to get rid of this blue bit, this sort of like blue goo thing. I'm going to take it apart. It's a Phillips head screwdriver. So I'm going to take it apart, file down the 3D text where it says rapid fire, and I'll probably put some modelling putty or plastic card over where it says X shot, and I'm going to steampunk it, because my character in chapter 16 is going to wield this very briefly. I mean, this is also for my steampunk cosplay anyway, so but the Dream Programmer is going to wield this very briefly on screen, so I'm going to have to work like the clappers to get it ready in time. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know how well that showed, but there we go. Yeah, so you pull that, that bit turns, pull the trigger, and it fires a shot. It is quite loud. I will probably deactivate this so it can't actually fire anything. So in the end, all you will see is the barrel. I will probably take these bits out in the barrel as well. But, you know, I'm going to steampunk it up. File it down. Hi, Brian. Yeah, I've got some metallic, I've got some brass and metallic paints that I can use on it, and as I say, I'll take a screwdriver to it and take it apart and work on it piece by piece. I mean, this part here is already done like mock wood anyway, but what I will do is I'll weather it. I'll sand it all down, weather it, and you know, I mean, this is so fun to play with, ironically, because you can just spin that like an old telephone. But yeah, so that's going to be a prop for chapter 16. I'll have to work really hard and quick on this, but it's doable. It is doable in a short time frame. I've done it before, because this is not the first prop gun I've worked on. I don't know if it's in my prop cupboard. I'll show you one I made. No, I know where it is. I do have another prop pistol that I worked on. If I can find it, I will post some photos up on Twitter or Instagram. I think there are some photos on Twitter and Instagram, in fact, if you know where to search. But it was something I converted. It was a Nerf gun I converted for my Fallout cosplay. Yeah, it is going to be a super fun project. I mean, you know, it's going to have a lot of work, because as I say, this blue goo thing, because it's supposed to be like a bug shooter, but that gave me, you know, seeing these, I thought I could brass these up as well, you know, paint them up and make them sort of brass in colour. I mean, they're targets for the gun. I think that could be quite interesting, because these have got screws holding the bottoms in place, so I can unscrew them and repaint them completely separately. I mean, they've got quite evil faces. I don't know how well you can see that. Now, it's a bit grainy, I apologise, but you know, they're quite villainous, so I'd have to do something with them. But I think I think I could do something. I definitely think I can do something. The potentialness is there. Um, it's just working with them to sort of get them to actually function. But yeah, I mean, once the Dream Realm is underway, we're back onto the main storyline. The Dream Realm is actually part of the main storyline, but it's like a break in the main storyline, if that makes sense. Sort of to bridge the gap between events, as it were. You'll see in about 54 minutes when it premieres on my channel how it all comes about. I mean, it's only a 30-minute long video this time around. It's not over an hour long like chapter 13 was. But it will make sense, and it will give you an idea of the beginnings of the Dream Realm and everything. Yes, that might be a good idea actually, Sage, thank you. Yes, I definitely think that would. I know where I can get some bronze spray paint, so that's not... We have a shop over here called Hobbycraft, which I think... Is it called Craft Fair in America or something like that? It's like that, but... or Craft Time or something. I'm not quite sure about crafting stores in America. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, as I say, I will also take sandpaper to the prop as well, so to make sure that the paint will adhere better to it as well. I did that with the other prop that I made, and it seems to have worked without any issue. If only I could find it. I'm not going to look for it now. I should have photos on my laptop, so I'll share them up to Twitter so you can see what I'm talking about. Yes, so that is an excellent suggestion. Thank you. But yeah, you know, I mean, the real big event after the Dream Realm, because once we get into the main story, it sort of follows. You know, we're sort of building up towards the huge event that everyone is expecting to happen. If I could get someone to actually play the Tyrant King, that would be amazing. But that is something we'll cross when we get there. At the moment, I'm remaining as his voice, because that's how I want it to work. You know, his voice is supposed to be distorted, unrecognisable, even though it's my voice, before his true voice will be revealed. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It could end up being just my voice, but we'll see what happens. But the next big project is, as you know, the Academy, which I'm quite excited about. That's the summertime project. You know, which Brian is involved with as a musician student. I have no musical aptitude, but I'm actually playing Musician Student 1 as well. I forgot to say that. I mentioned that I'm playing Arik the Bard, Master of Ceremonies, Rejak Marston, and now Harold, the leader of the I think Sage has done something like that, actually, Goody. I think Sage has done a... I know Sage has taken us through her wig collection. But I don't know if you've actually taken us through your props, though, have you, Sage? But yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that, because I know how I mean, your videos are superbly detailed. I mean, there are so many different elements to your videos that are beyond belief in a good way, because you know that it's the little details you put into them. I mean, all the labels on those jars and bottles when you're playing Farron, or you know, Farron, or oh, Clear, you know. Well, you know, considering your character is sort of Ondarian, which is like a medieval sort of, anything that sounds medieval, or possibly Roman, you know, um, anything like that, because that's sort of what, or you know, anything Roman, Victorian, medieval, because that's the sort of thing, that's the sort of cultural background of the Ondarian monarchy. It's very much a mix of, you know, Victorian, Roman, medieval sort of um, culture sort of thing, and appearance, whereas the desert realm is very much Middle Eastern, you know, that sort of thing. Middle Eastern, Turkish, Moroccan, Egyptian, bit of Indian sort of thing. You know, it's all about the yeah. So I'm sort of thinking, you know, I mean, as I say, Arik is sort of, I mean, the name I came up with for the bard, Arik, is an Anglo-Saxon name. So I've got a spreadsheet I can send you, actually, Brian. It's a list of all the names that I've collated for potential characters, so I can always send that to you as well. There's 2,262 names on it. Or is it 2,622? I lose count. But yeah, you know, it's got to be a lot of fun. If you've seen Chapter 13 for the Academy, Exploring ASMR is reprising the role of Cassandra in that mini project. I'm calling it a mini series because it is a mini series, really. It's set a few years before the events of the main series. I've actually done a 1 hour long video about its history. It's uploaded to YouTube, but it's unlisted. So far, the only people that have seen it are the people involved in the Academy project. As I say, it's about an hour long, but it's the history of the Academy from its founding, or it's about the founding of the Academy, back in the day. I'll get that uploaded for you now, Brian, and I'll share it to the Academy chat group, because it might help a lot of people. That's a good idea, actually. Whilst you're here, Brian, did you manage to get a chance to look at the music folders I uploaded on there via my Google Drive? Because I've made them available to the group. There's a lot of medieval. It's all Kevin MacLeod music. I did make sure to upload the creative licenses as well, which you need. That's how I've been able to avoid copyright claims on my videos. I know some people use the YouTube library, But I have to say I quite like using I think it's called Infotech, which is the website that where I get all my music for the project, or IOTech or something like that. Notes, names list. There we go. What was it called? Incompotech. That's it. It's a really, yeah, it's free. It's free. You can pay for a license where you don't have to use the creative licenses, but it's no real biggie to use them really, because they're so easy. I mean, when you look at my videos, you will, if you scroll down the description, you'll see all the creative licenses that I use. And it doesn't really change for my videos because I have a set playlist for each chapter, so it just makes sense to just keep the same. That's why it's so consistent. You know, it's got the same. Desert Realm has the same opening theme and closing theme. The Ondarian monarchy, you know, the Ondarian monarchy has its own theme. What else? The Forest Realm has its own theme as well, and no doubt when we get to the Firelands, that will have its own theme as well. The Firelands is the only place featured so far that isn't actually part of the continent of Monarcha. That continent of Monarcha being where it takes place. If you've seen them, I haven't shared the map that often, but the Ondarian monarchy, basically, it's the Ondarian monarchy is a central. It's very It's a very strange country. Think of the which is the American state that's very square? That's literally a square. Is that Texas? No, that's not Texas. I want to say Ohio. I'm gonna have to Google it. American states, because you know. Here we go. Images. Right, okay. Yeah, think of the Three Nations as being like Colorado in shape. It's a very... Yeah, and Wyoming, thank you, yes. That is basically how... the continent of Monarcha is actually huge. It's obviously nowhere near as big as America, but it's a lot bigger than... it's a lot bigger than you know, the map shows. But basically, there's three provinces. There's the Desert Realm in the east, the Forest Realm in the west, and slap bang in the middle is the Ondarian monarchy. If you know the backstory, because obviously most of you have probably seen it from chapter 1, the Ondarian monarchy, when the Tyrant King ruled, invaded both East and West lands, so they are now technically all part of the Ondarian monarchy. So the continent itself is a lot bigger than that. You just see that one area. Then, of course, you've got the uncharted ocean. Now, that isn't a misnomer. That is a completely... because it is charted. That's the joke in the series. They call it the uncharted ocean, even though it's very well charted. And so far, the Firelands is the only confirmed land because of the dragons. Dappist ASMR hinted at other lands in her segment of Chapter 13, which makes sense because that's the whole point. Because I'd like to eventually start introducing other characters and other concepts from other parts of the world. It's a big world. It is a very big world. So I won't be able to cover it all. As I say, this is something I've been developing since my teenage years, but when I first developed it, it never had a title. It never had... the background for it was completely different to what it is now. And oh, sorry, Brian, I've just seen your comment about background music. No, you don't need... it's not compulsory. No, most of the videos that are involved in my project don't have background music at all. The only one that I can really think of that did or has is the one that Exploring ASMR did as her first time as Cassandra for Chapter 13, and that was because it was within context of the scene and the character. So, you know, that was... background music was completely in context. However, I have spoken to her, Riley Rose, and although Uplifting ASMR is on hiatus at the moment, summertime hiatus, I have said that if they want to use background music for their videos, that's absolutely fine. I could do. I am working on more maps at the moment. I mean, I know that Sage would agree with me that incarnate.com is one of the best websites ever to exist. I absolutely adore Incarnate. It was Sage that introduced me to the site, and I paid the subscription fee to have full access to it. And you know, I'm still learning how to use it, but the results I've had... Yes, exactly, Sage, you did. Yes, I do remember that now. You did. And again, it was within context, because obviously it was sort of... it was in the big top, so I think Jodie did as well, because again, it was all in context. And of course, if you watch T4 ASMR's video, you will hear music in that as well. Again, it's in context. So, you know, I will always say if it's in context, then yes, use background music. Otherwise, go with how it feels to you. You know, if you dabble, that's absolutely perfect to me. It makes no sort of alteration on the it's just a reminder. Sorry, I thought an important email had come through, but it's just a reminder. So yeah, as I say, we've got, you know, some really exciting times coming up across the board. Some really exciting ideas and concepts, which I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled about. Sorry, when you sit down for too long, it really does. Just so you're aware, I will probably take this on for another 15 minutes, and then obviously I need to take a break before my premiere. So yeah, we'll be on for about another 15 minutes, so till about 20 to 10 GMT, 20 to 5 EST for everyone in America or Canada, which I think every single one of you are. But so yes, definitely recommend giving a look at the latest video, or the lost Lord of War and Heartache video. Yes, indeed. Indeed. All the best, Sage. Thank you for joining me. As I say, I'm online for about another 10-15 minutes, and then I need to sort of stop and take a break, get a drink, things like that. Yeah. Because I can tell I'm drying up with things to say, so it gets to this point when you're sort of trying to figure out what to sort of say and do. Yeah. Don't you just hate it when your mind goes dry and you can't think straight? It's been a long day. It has been a long day. I've had phone trouble all day, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. So we just have to work with what we have, really. Sorry. But indeed, you know, things happen, life goes on. Yeah, I've got plenty of ideas in the future. You know, new characters on the way. There'll be more casting calls coming up, more concepts and ideas. If the Academy goes well, if it proves popular, there is one other idea I have for the future. I don't want to jinx it. I will say, in order to kind of get the idea that I've got, you would need to see the Academy series when it comes out, because there is a mention of the concept that I have in mind. As I say, I will only do that second mini-series idea if the Academy is successful. Otherwise, I will put the other idea on hiatus until I can work out how to fit it in, because it will fit into the main storyline rather than be its own sort of standalone concept. And of course I'd have to find people interested in the idea too. So at this time, that, you know, a lot of my ideas will remain ideas. I can't see many of them going live, and I think that's not a bad thing, because, you know, you can't let the cat out the bag all the time. You've got to hold on to a few extra cards. You know, you've got to hold your cards up your sleeve, and I think it will. I think it will, because it's. See, I don't know whether or not to actually make that video public to try and draw interest to the. I will go onto the message board for the Academy, and I will put out. I will ask and see if people think. I know you're involved anyway, Brian. I don't know what you think. If I make that video public, it might be interesting to do that and see what it comes up with. It might. The thing is, I don't really want to make it public until the Academy is uploaded. You know, I don't want to preempt. I don't really want to preempt or tempt fate, as it were, because I want it to all sort of run together into one thing, so that you get the Academy in the 9th era, which is the era the whole story of the Lord of War Heartache takes place in, whilst the history talks about the Academy and its founding in the 1st era, because it actually introduces a concept I haven't covered at all in the series, which is the Antaeus Empire. Now, this is a concept I've come up with quite recently, because I realised that with the first age of what? So I've called it the first age of the Ondarian, the first age of the Ondarian monarchy. And before that, before the monarchy existed, was the Antaeus Empire. Anutius, Antaeus. And we haven't covered anything of that concept in the entire series whatsoever. So that's something I really need to find a way of bringing into a character discussion. Now, it'll probably be one of my own characters discussing it. I won't ask anyone else in the project, involved in the project, to talk about it, because it will be too complicated. The whole concept of it is very, very complicated and very, very time consuming to explain. So I will develop a sort of backstory for it, so that one of my own characters. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Brian. That's exactly what I was thinking. As I say, I've made it available to the participants in the chat, because obviously it gives some context to them. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will not be making that video public until the Academy has been uploaded. It remains unlisted and is only available at the moment to the participants of that particular project. When the time comes, I will announce it on Twitter that I'm making it public. I probably won't release it. I probably won't actually release it until after the mini-series is completed, because it makes more sense to do it that way. Having said that, there will be other history videos and character backgrounds. So far we've only got Lord Volkov, but there are other characters we can cover in the series with their backgrounds and history. So I think what we'll do is, obviously bring in those characters characters. You know, we can still do Rafik, we can still do Maximus. Might be a bit more difficult. I'll have to work around that one. But there's other characters we can investigate and look at and write about. Yeah, so I think we've been going for about an hour and a half, so, or just over an hour and a half. I think, to be honest with you, I think that will be a good time to sign off. I will see you all in around 20 minutes or so on my channel for chapter 14. I need to get another drink. I need a comfort break, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to sign off, and obviously I do these live streams weekly. Apologies for the long pauses if you're watching back, because when it gets to sort of a certain point in the live stream, I dry up with what I want to say. So yep, I'm going to sign off. I will hopefully see you in 20 minutes or so on my channel. Join me, Black Cat Aura ASMR and Uplifting ASMR. They probably won't be in the chat, but they're involved in the video, so I'm the narrator in this video, so hence why when you see the just very briefly before I go, hence why you see me in sort of my alternate coloured Maximus costume. I actually changed, it's the same costume that I wear for Maximus, but I recoloured it so it's red. That is not a new outfit, that is the same blue outfit I wear for Maximus, but I've just recoloured it all because that's how I envision the narrator. He's like another projection of myself, as it were, as is Maximus. So yep, please, I will say, please do watch to the very end of this video, because there is a significant thing about the Dream Realm that sort of helps to give a bit of context, perhaps. But yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it's sort of 2 minutes before 22, so that's good enough. I will see you for another live stream next week. Signing off. Bye for now.